This is number 10 from section 2.4. We have a particle P moving along a number line shown in part A, that's here. So it's moving from left to right of this accompanying figure. Part B shows the position of P as a function of time. So let's make sure we understand here that on the x-axis we have t, time in seconds, and on the y-axis we have the position in centimeters along this number line. So let's get to the questions. Part A. When is P moving to the left? When is it moving to the right? When is it standing still? So let's go with left first. And we want to recall one more time, this is position, not velocity, but we do remember that velocity is the derivative of position. I'm going to note that here, that if we have the position function s of t, which we do, finding that derivative, the first derivative of position, will give us velocity. The reason we want to think about that in this case, we put velocity of t, is because velocity gives us that direction vector. In other words, when velocity is positive, we're moving forward or right. When velocity is negative, we're moving backwards or left. So we want to take a look at then the derivative of the position, and we can do that on this graph by looking at the slope. So from 0 to 1, the slope is positive. From 1 to 2, it's 0. From 2 to 3, it's negative. When we think about the slope of position, we're thinking about velocity. So a leftward movement would occur when the slope of the position function, aka the velocity, is negative. That's indicating to us that the particle is moving to the left. So I see that happening from 2 to 3. We're going downward. The slope is negative. So I'm going to put 2 to 3. We're moving left. And we're also moving left from 5 to 6 because we have a negative slope there. What about to the right? Well, we have rightward movements then when the velocity is positive. So we want to be looking at positive slopes. So I see that from 0 to 1. And that's really it, 0 to 1. And when are we standing still? That was the third question for part A. We're standing still when the velocity is 0, meaning we're not moving forward or backwards. And if the velocity is 0, that means the derivative of position is 0. So the slope is 0. That's occurring from 1 to 2, where we see a horizontal line, and 3 to 5, where we see another horizontal line. So I'm going to put 1 to 2 and 3 to 5. Let's answer part B now. Graph the particle's velocity and graph its speed where it's defined. So we've talked about the particle's velocity. We know that means the slope. And we can do that here if we just do a little sketch. I'm going to put part B. I'm going to sketch myself an axis. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's negative. And then this will be velocity now. So let's talk about what the slope is between 0 and 1. We're going up 2 spaces and to the right 1. So for this whole time, the slope is 2, aka the velocity is 2. So from 0 to 1, we're graphing a segment of 2. Then from 1 to 2, we have a slope of 0 on the position. So that means the velocity is 0. So 1 to 2, we're going to go here. And I'm going to open this up with empty circles at the ends of those segments, noting that we're not at either of those points. Let's move next to 2 to 3. So we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going down 4 as we go over 1. So that's a negative 4. So we're going to go from 2 to 3, a velocity of negative 4. Then from 3 to 5, we have a 0 slope again. So that is going to be a 0 velocity. And then from 5 to 6, we're going down 2 spaces from negative 2 to negative 4 and over 1. So we want to be at negative 2 here. And there's the end of the velocity graph. Next up, we want to graph speed. And there's only going to be a couple changes here. I'll do speed in red. Speed is the absolute value of velocity. So basically, anything that's 0 or positive is going to remain the same. So those 3 segments I just redrew in red have no change. But when we see a negative velocity, that's going to be an absolute value for speed. So this piece that was -4 between 2 and 3 is now going to be graphed above at +4. So we're there. And then just the same way, the line segment from 5 to 6 is now going to be a positive value. So that's going to be up here. So I'm going to note over here speed in red, and I'm going to say velocity in blue. And that's number 10.